what vitamin B6 can do for your heart and health. Have you ever glanced at the back of a multivitamin bottle, seen vitamin B6, and just moved on? You probably see it listed all the time, maybe under its other name, pyridoxine. It's one of those things you know is good for you, in a vague, general sense. But you probably have no idea how critical it is for your body's most important organ, your heart. What if I told you that this single, overlooked vitamin is scientifically shown to fight one of the most dangerous, silent threats to your cardiovascular health? What if getting enough of it could dramatically lower your risk of heart disease and literally shield your arteries from damage? Well, the science is in, and it does. I'm a health researcher, and I've spent years digging into nutritional biochemistry. Today, we're putting vitamin B6 under the microscope. We're not just talking about wellness trends. We're getting into the hard science that shows how this vitamin protects your heart. And the first way it does that is by taking down a hidden villain in your bloodstream, a villain you've likely never even heard of. Section 1. The silent threat. Meet homocysteine. Before we can really appreciate our hero, vitamin B6, we need to meet the bad guy. It's a compound called homocysteine. It's a mouthful, I know, but stick with me. Homocysteine is an amino acid your body naturally makes every day. In a healthy system, your body uses B vitamins to quickly convert homocysteine into other things it needs. It's supposed to be a smooth, efficient process. But what happens when that process breaks down? What if you don't have enough of the right B vitamins on the job? Well, homocysteine stops getting converted. It starts to build up in your blood, and when it builds up, it turns toxic. Think of the pipes in your house. Normally, water flows right through. But what if you started pouring thick, sticky sludge down the drain every day? Eventually, that sludge would build up, corrode the pipes, create rough patches, and cause blockages. That sludge is high homocysteine, and your arteries are the pipes. Elevated homocysteine is a major, independent risk factor for cardiovascular disease. It's not just about cholesterol or blood pressure. This compound actively damages the delicate inner lining of your arteries, called the endo. This damage creates a rough, inflamed surface, basically Velcro for other stuff you don't want sticking around, like cholesterol and fats. It kickstarts the formation of plaque, leading to a condition we all fear, atherosclerosis, or the hardening of the arteries. The research on this is incredibly clear. Meta-analyses of multiple studies have confirmed that high levels of homocysteine are strongly linked to an increased risk of heart attacks, strokes, and other vascular diseases. Some analyses have found that just a 5-point increase in homocysteine can significantly raise the risk of stroke. This isn't a small problem. It's a critical threat that operates in the background. And the scariest part, you can have high homocysteine and feel perfectly fine, with zero symptoms, until it's too late. This is where the story turns. This is where our hero makes its entrance. Vitamin B6 is that helper for over 100 different enzyme reactions. That's over 100 vital processes that just won't happen without it. And the jobs it does are all over the map. It helps create neurotransmitters, like serotonin and dopamine, which regulate your mood. It helps produce hemoglobin, the protein in your red blood cells that carries oxygen everywhere, including your heart muscle. It's involved in brain health, immune function, and as we just saw, processing amino acids. When we talk about B6 doing its job, we're really talking about its active form. Just like you have 2 prep ingredients for a recipe, your body converts the B6 you eat into its active form, called pyridoxal 5-phosphate, or PL. This is the version of B6 that actually gets to work. When doctors measure your B6 levels, they're looking at PLP, because it's the best indicator of your body's true status. The fact that B6 is involved in so many things is exactly why not having enough can cause such widespread problems, and it's why ensuring you have an optimal amount can offer such powerful protection, especially for your heart. It's not just a vitamin, it's a critical part of your body's operating system. Section 3. The heart's guardian -5 ways B6 slashes your risk. Alright, let's get to the good part. We have our villain, homocysteine, and our hero, vitamin B6. So, how exactly does this hero work its magic? It's not just one thing. It's a multi-layered defense against the very things that cause heart disease. Benefit 1. The homocysteine hunter. This is the most famous and powerful way. Vitamin B6 protects your heart. As we said, high homocysteine is like sludge in your arteries. B6 is the master plumber that keeps things flowing. It does this by being a crucial helper for a process called the transsulfuration pathway. This is your body's main exit route for excess homocysteine. In simple terms, homocysteine needs to be converted into another amino acid called cysteine. The enzyme that does this job is completely dependent on the active form of vitamin B6 PLP to work. Without enough B6, that enzyme gets lazy. The whole process slows down, homocysteine backs up, and its levels rise in your blood, causing that dangerous damage to your artery walls. The evidence here is overwhelming. Population studies consistently show a direct link between low B6 levels and a higher risk of heart disease. One major review found that for every small 0.5 milligrams increase in daily vitamin B6 intake, the risk of coronary heart disease drops significantly. Think about that just. A small dietary boost can make a real difference. And it's not just observation. In a gold standard randomized controlled trial, researchers took a group of healthy adults with a close family history of heart disease. They gave one group a daily supplement of B6 and folic acid, another B vitamin helper, for 2 years, while the other group got a placebo. The results were incredible. The B vitamin group had much lower homocysteine levels. But more importantly, when they underwent a cardiac stress test, they had far fewer abnormal heart readings during exercise. The conclusion was clear. The vitamins helped protect their hearts under stress. By keeping homocysteine in check, vitamin B6 prevents the very first spark that can ignite the fire of atherosclerosis. Benefit 2. The inflammation fighter. If you read about heart disease today, you'll see one word everywhere. Inflammation, not the kind you get with a twisted ankle, but chronic, low-grade inflammation that simmers throughout your body. This state of constant alert is a key driver of atherosclerosis. It damages blood vessels and makes cholesterol plaques unstable and more likely to cause a problem. Well, vitamin B6 is emerging as a potent anti-inflammatory agent. Studies show an inverse relationship. When markers of inflammation in the body go up, blood levels of vitamin B6 go down. This suggests your body is actively using up B6 to try and manage the inflammation. People with chronic inflammatory conditions often have lower B6 levels for this very reason. How does it work? One way is by influencing complex metabolic pathways. With enough B6, these pathways are steered towards producing anti-inflammatory compounds. Without it, they can churn out pro-inflammatory ones instead. By helping to cool the fires of chronic inflammation, B6 adds another powerful layer of defense for your entire cardiovascular system. Benefit 3. The artery shield, antioxidant, and anti-clotting power. Every day, your body is bombarded by free radicals, unstable molecules from pollution, toxins, and even just normal metabolism. They ricochet around your cells like tiny wrecking balls, causing damage called oxidative stress. Think of it like rust forming on metal. It corrodes your cells, including the fragile lining of your arteries. An antioxidant is a molecule that can neutralize these free radicals, stopping the damage. And you guessed it, vitamin B6 has significant antioxidant capabilities. It acts as a helper for some of your body's own powerful antioxidant enzymes, essentially supercharging your internal defense system against that rusting process. But the shield has another layer. Vitamin B6 also appears to have antithrombotic properties. A thrombus is a blood clot. While you need clots to stop a cut from bleeding, a clot forming inside your blood vessels is what causes most heart attacks and strokes. Research suggests B6 helps prevent this abnormal clotting by making blood platelets less sticky and promoting smoother blood flow. So, B6 not only helps prevent plaque from forming in the first place, but it also helps prevent the final, deadly event of a clot forming on top of it. Benefit 4. The blood pressure buddy. High blood pressure, or hypertension, is a huge risk factor for heart disease. It makes your heart work overtime and damages your arteries, making them stiff and prone to plaque. While it's no replacement for blood pressure medication, A growing body of evidence suggests vitamin B6 plays a supportive role in keeping blood pressure in a healthy range. The mechanisms are complex, but one way is through its role in creating neurotransmitters that help regulate your heart's rhythm and the tension in your blood vessels. It's also essential for producing hemoglobin, the protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen. By ensuring your tissues get plenty of oxygen, B6 supports overall cardiovascular function, which helps the system regulate blood pressure more effectively. For someone who is deficient, simply correcting that deficiency can lead to improvements. It's another piece of the puzzle, showing how B6 contributes to total heart wellness. Benefit 5. The cellular repair crew. This final benefit is the most fundamental of all, getting down to the level of your DNA. Vitamin B6 is a key player in a process essential for DNA synthesis, repair, and methylation. Let's make that simple. Every time a cell divides, it has to copy its DNA perfectly. B6 is required to make the building blocks for that DNA. It's also involved in repairing DNA that gets damaged by toxins and oxidative stress. Most importantly, B6 influences DNA methylation, which works like on-off switches for your genes. This process tells your genes when to be active and when to stay quiet. When methylation goes wrong, it's linked to all sorts of diseases, including cardiovascular disease. By ensuring the cells lining your blood vessels can repair themselves and function correctly at a genetic level, vitamin B6 is not just putting out fires, it's helping to build a fireproof structure from the ground up. Section 4. The B6 Blueprint. How to get it right. Okay, so B6 is a cardiovascular superhero. The big question is, how do you make sure you're getting enough? And can you get too much? Part 1. How much do you actually need? The official recommended dietary allowance, RDA, is the government's guideline to prevent deficiency. For adults 50 and younger, that's about 1.3 milligrams per day. For those over 50, it nudges up to 1.7 milligrams for men and 1.5 milligrams for women. Pregnant and breastfeeding women need a little more, around 1.9 to 2.0 milligrams daily. On paper, most people in Western countries seem to meet this baseline. But here is the thing. Basic isn't the same as optimal for heart protection. The RDA is the minimum to keep you from getting sick, not necessarily the amount for thriving long-term health. Research looking specifically at heart disease suggests the real magic happens at slightly higher intake. One meta-analysis found a measurable drop in heart disease risk for every 0.5 milligrams per day increase in B6 intake, suggesting that even modest boosts above the RDA pay dividends. This seems especially true for women and smokers who may have higher needs. Part 2. Eat your way to a healthy heart. Top B6 food sources. The best, safest way to get your vitamin B6 is from real food. Nature has packed it into a ton of delicious options. Fish. This is a top-tier source. A 3-ounce serving of tuna or salmon can deliver over 50% of your daily needs. Poultry. Chicken and turkey are B6 powerhouses. A single chicken breast makes a big contribution. Legumes. A fantastic category, especially for plant-based eaters. 1 cup of chickpeas garbanzo beans gives you a massive 1.1 mRC of B6, which is about 65% of the daily value. Starchy vegetables. A simple baked potato is a surprisingly good source. Step 1. Assess. Don't guess. Take an honest look at your plate. For the next few days, jot down what you eat. No judgment, just observation. Then, compare your list to the B6-rich foods we talked about. Are they showing up, or is your diet mostly processed stuff? This will give you a clear idea of where you stand. Step 2. Go for food first. This is the core of the strategy. Your goal is to consistently add more B6-rich foods to your routine. Think of it as a delicious upgrade, not a diet. Could you swap your usual breakfast for a fortified cereal with a sliced banana? Could you make a big batch of lentil soup or a chickpea curry for easy lunches? Could you have salmon or tuna for dinner twice a week? Could you switch your afternoon snack to a handful of pistachios or an avocado? Small, steady changes are way more powerful than drastic ones. Step 3. Supplement with extreme caution. This one is easy, Do you want to start taking B6 pills on your own just because you think it is a good idea? The risk of nerve damage is real. If you're genuinely concerned you might be deficient, talk to your doctor or a registered dietitian. They can order a simple blood test to check your B6 levels. If you are deficient, they can recommend a safe dose for a limited time to get you back on track. Make sure to show them all the supplements you're taking. Step 4. Remember the special considerations. The research points to a few groups who should be extra mindful of their B6 intake. If you're a woman, several studies suggest the heart protective benefits of B6 are especially strong for women.